all it is, the reflection color to and 128, and this one to 128. Right. Okay, that's pretty much it for this material. Now we can drag and drop this material into the two spheres that creates the outer shell, like so. Okay. And now you might notice that this edge bit doesn't actually get the color. So all we have to do here is just drag these onto these edges here. Okay. If you don't know how to navigate around your object, all you have to do is to move this around. You press 1, click and drag anywhere to move the around. To zoom in and out, you press 2. Then if you drag left, you zoom out, and if you drag right, you zoom in. And to orbit the object, you press 3, and you just move your mouse around and just get a feel for how the thing orbits. Now the last thing we have to add this Denel shader to is the smaller sphere, the sphere 1. There you go. You just name it so that we don't forget. Alright, now we need to create the second material, and this is for the outer one of the internal spheres. We're again going to go to File, Shader, but now we're going to choose Banji. See, this has this kind of nice see-through reflection to it. Now we're going to change some of the settings here. We're going to change the surface color on diffuse to 175, 130, and 153. There we go. Now we're going to change the volume color to, we're going to leave that one as it is, 209 and 221. There we go. Now we go to specular 1. We're going to leave this as it is. Let's go to specular 2 and change the color to 247, 247, and 128. Okay, now specular 3, and we're going to change the color to 196, 176, and 182. Okay, give it a nice pinky kind of color. Let's go to transparency. Let's leave that as it is. Go to reflection and change the reflection color to 0, 1, 2, 8, and the same again for this one. It's just so that the reflection of this one kind of matches the reflection of the other spheres. Now we're done with the material, and just apply this by dragging and drop onto here, or if you want to be more accurate, onto here. Now that's done. The next one is really easy. Just go on. This is the material we're creating for the floor. We want to get a nice reflection, so all we have to do is just tick reflection. If you want a kind of surreal look, you can, reduce the brightness, just to give that kind of hazy kind of feeling instead of being full on reflected like a mirror, which isn't always that great. And you can add a little blurriness to kind of, I'm going to do this to about 66% and increase the blurriness to about 18%, 15 should do. Alright, now we just need to create the floor. Go around, we're going to go to here and floor. Now all we have to do is just, because it's in the middle of the floor, we can click the hypernerves and just bring it up. If you want to be super accurate, press F3 to get a side-on view, zoom in and just bring it up so it's just touching the floor. Right, let's go back out. Okay, looks good. Now we're just going to add the floor material to the floor. There we go. And all we need to do now is just add the sky. And all we need to do for the sky is go to the attributes here and use color to always, and the display color to always, display color to white. Okay, looks good. If you want a sky to have a bit of color, then you can always change the attributes here just to give it a different kind of dimension. I'm going to stick with the white for now. Alright, now there's one last thing we need to do before we render, and that is we need to go to the render settings. We go to anti-aliasing and change that from geometry to best. Alright, looks all good. So now we can just hit render and just look at the finished piece. Just give it some time. Okay, now that's that rendered, and as you can see, you're free to, you know, try out different settings for the materials, the floor, the sky. So yeah, just to create a different effect. So let's have a little play. So let's change this to 100% with no blur. There we go. Just make it really reflective and give the sky a bit of a teeny bit of a colour. Lower that a little bit. Alright, a nice pale blue. And let's hit render. And here's the final piece. Right, so that's this orb done right here. So and again, just feel free to play around and experiment with the different material shading and all the stuff that's available. Right.